Cool. So, recognizing your inner child's voice and understanding that this is not something that's just made up or something that therapists or mental health professionals talk about as, you know, whatever. I can see that you're scared, but I'm here to take care of you. This is a thing that has been troubling myself, and I can finally say that I had a conversation with myself, and I recognize that, yeah, man, my inner child has been challenged and troubled. And, it's time for me to step up and start making this content and helping other people also get out that same rut, get out that same mindset. Oftentimes it's not valid, and the more and more that we constantly, or more and more I constantly, allow myself to think, oh, people don't want to hear what I gotta say, or I'm not gonna help anybody, or I'm not good at making videos, or I'm scared of what other people will say or think about me, or they're gonna challenge my thinking. They're gonna challenge what I say, and they're gonna make me look bad, and I'm gonna be wrong. But so often that's just not true. And the people that do say that, then maybe this isn't the video for them. And and if they're thinking that what they are saying is better than what I'm saying, then let's collab. Let's partner. Don't beat me up, build me up. And so if you see that I'm trying to do something for the masses and for God's people, then allow me to do that. But if you think that I'm doing something wrong, then help me. Don't judge me. And so that's what I had to learn, and that's what I had to really remove from my train of thinking, because at the end of the day, it's all to just help people. Working as a therapist and meeting with individuals on a daily basis, I realize I can only do so much, and I really want to be able to help more people, but I also don't want to stress myself out and lose the important time, or lose the time that's important to me. Therefore, I'm going to start making videos and start creating content so that way I can help more people. The first video I wanted to talk about was, really understanding like what that inner voice is. And, some people may call it an inner person or inner child, but at the end of the day, it's a voice that's inside of you that constantly gets in the way, or it may even be a voice that can be encouraging and motivating, but recognizing and understanding and letting that voice know that, it's okay to be heard. It's okay. I hear what you're saying, and I'm willing to listen to you, but you also have to be willing to listen to me. We can call it fear, we can call it anxiety, you name it. But at the end of the day, this is something that needs to get done. And so, when I think about a child, right? When I think about my own kids, if we are out and about and somebody that I know from Fort Valley, comes and say, "What's up, Drew? Man, how's everything going, man? This your little man?" Like, yeah, it's my son. It's my daughter. I know the first thing that my daughter especially is going to do is really latch on maybe to my leg or to my hand. Oftentimes her scare tactics may be, I'm ready to go. Daddy, let's go. And she'll pull me while I'm talking, but I recognize that that's her saying that I'm not comfortable. And, recognizing that and letting her know like everything's okay. Say hello, wave, do those, polite things. And after a while, she may either calm down and present and say hello, or she may not, and she still may be ready to go, but that's okay. But letting her know that you are in a safe environment, you're with your dad, nothing to fear, nothing to worry, and if it does happen, if something does happen, Daddy's going to protect you. And understanding that within myself, right, when I talk about my own personal inner child, I can just think of so many different things that me and my younger self would be afraid of, or things that my younger self were told not to do, and I didn't do because of fear or because of just being a child and being scared, or not always feeling protected. Not necessarily not by my parents, because they're not always around, but just in the neighborhood, riding a bike and seeing something that doesn't look right, and I can get scared. That's just a human emotion. So when I think about my inner self and my inner child and how he gets scared, and now I am the parent or the adult self, and letting my child self or younger self know, or just that inner self know that we're good. And so I wanted to come on here today and let you know too that, man, it's okay, but recognizing what that part of self is, and how that part of self shows up. Start paying attention to yourself. Go through your history and recognize when you were a child, how did you show up in these moments? How were you triggered by this person saying something to you or not saying something to you, or when someone gave you a look, how did you respond to that? When someone said something that you considered to be disrespectful, how did you respond to that? And then think about, how do you respond to those things now? And being able to recognize that, okay, there are some similarities, for many of us who have done the work, and allowed ourselves to truly grow up, then, it may not show up the same way. Good job. But for many people who haven't, who don't like how you respond to certain conversations or certain behaviors of others, or, you don't like how you respond, when you feel some kind of way, because of what your child has done, go back to your past, check in with yourself and say, okay, did I respond like this when I was a kid or when I was younger? Another thing that I want to add in there, when did you stop being a kid? Right? When did you stop being a kid? It didn't stop at 5th grade. It didn't stop at senior year in high school. So really check in, like, okay, when did I really start to feel like an adult? When did grown really hit me? And when I can understand, when I can recognize, or when I can go back and report, what, I felt grown at 25. Like, that's when for me, Andrew, that's when it really hit me, like, yo, I'm grown. I'm an adult. I feel grown. 22, 23, nah, I still feel like a kid. I still felt very young and very adolescent. But when I hit 25, that's when things really started to change for me. So, now that I can recognize, okay, before 25 was my innocence, in a sense, my child behavior. I can't do anything about it, right? But I can definitely recognize, okay, this is how I change things now. This is how I reparent myself in the therapy world, is what we say. This is how I reframe those thoughts on how I used to look at things, and this is how I will respond to them now. I love that the method think, feel, behave, or the technique think, feel, behave, because it really does challenge your thought and recognizing, okay, this is how I'm thinking, and when I think like this, I feel like this. Okay, and when I feel like that, this is how I respond, or this is how I behave. I don't like that. So I need to change how I think so I can change how I feel, and then I can respond or behave differently. So I give you that nugget, that tool. Don't beat yourself up, build yourself up. Thank you.